Hi, my name is Evas and I'm here with my sister Marina. The date is May 10th, 2020, and we are recording this interview in Chicago, Illinois. We are recording this interview during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have been in quarantine for about 8 weeks. How has COVID-19 affected you personally?
So, I think it's affected me socially and academically. Socially, in the sense where I can't hang out with friends in person. We have to schedule when we're gonna FaceTime each other or even Zoom call each other. We can't see extended family and whoever else. Also, academically, because I go to UIC, and UIC moved all of its courses from in-person lectures to online on March 13th. That was our last day to physically be on campus.
Right, and you actually just graduated, so congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay. So, what were you studying at UIC?
I was studying psychology. I just graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology and an Italian minor.
So, why did you choose psychology as your major?
I bounced around a little bit, if I'm being honest. I started off as an English major and an Italian minor. I've always had the Italian minor. But I entered my orientation as an English major. At orientation, I added on neuroscience to be a double major. But as I started my first year of school, I realized that was way too many credit hours and I was probably not going to finish in 4 years. So then from there, I dropped the English major just because I liked my neuroscience classes more, because it was a mix of chemistry, bio, psychology, philosophy, physics, etc. Just a bunch of sciences, really. But then once I was taking more and more psychology classes, I started leaning towards that because, I enjoyed chemistry and bio and my other science courses, but psychology, the classes for that major were more interesting, and neuroscience had requirements where you had to take psychology courses, but the courses in psychology that I wanted to take didn't earn any credit towards my major, so I just switched over to psychology.
Okay, so you mentioned that you were studying at UIC. Why did you choose UIC as the college for you?
UIC was the college for me because it was convenient. I am definitely a city girl. I don't want to go to school in some farmland in the middle of nowhere, so that was not for me. But UIC offered me a lot of scholarships, which I found very convenient. UIC is literally on the Blue Line. There's a UIC Halstead stop, so getting there transportation wise was really quick and easier for me. And then, like I said, it's in the city, so I'd still be able to, be around family and people I already knew in Chicago. And UIC is also a research school, so if I was going to be studying science or anything where I wanted to publish any kind of work under my name, networking at UIC would be really good and beneficial for me.
So we talked before, and UIC has offered a lot of opportunities to you, and that includes your job. So what's your job and how would you describe it?
So I've had a couple different jobs on campus. I was an Italian tutor for a little bit, so I would tutor students who were studying Italian 101 through 104, which is just beginning Italian to a little bit more advanced Italian. And then I was also a mentor on campus, so I just helped transfer students and lower classmen figure out how to UIC. So how to be a college kid, where microwaves are on campus, how to schedule an appointment with your advisor, stuff like that. And then my most favorite job that I love talking about, I work in a research lab on UIC's campus where we study oxytocin effects in B6 mice, and what that is just hormone effects in a certain strain of mice. that kind of models or mimics what it would be like if it were in humans. So that's my favorite job. I always kind of compare it to, like, if you like Bill Nye the Science Guy, we do cool experiments. I think our experiments are cooler, but yeah.
So with working in a lab and with hospitals, you kind of know a lot about the front lines of, like, especially during this pandemic, it's hard. So what do you wish more people knew or understood about COVID-19?
Yeah, so I'm pre-med. Like, that's my professional goal. And yeah, I've definitely looked into a lot about the COVID pandemic, and because I work in a lab, we kind of get updates just from other labs and different research institutions. So I wish people would realize how easy it spreads. And, it's not that if you catch it, like, you're gonna die. Unfortunately, there has been a lot of people who have passed because of COVID, but we do see that the majority of people who catch COVID are actually more likely to survive. The survival rate is really high, but, like, it just spreads so quickly, and the symptoms for this virus are so different. Like, it varies from person to person. One person might have these symptoms, the next person might have those symptoms, and then a third person might not have either of the symptoms that other two people had. And it's just so serious, and people need to stay home, wash their hands, just take care, good, proper hygiene, and be careful. Like, it's been shown, and different researchers and, like, even doctors have said that it spread so quickly that, like, the bottom of their shoes were testing positive for COVID. So, like, take your shoes off the moment you get home. Try not to track that around, just because it's so easily spread and it just clings on to any kind of material. It doesn't have to be, like, a person. Like, it clings on to clothes and boxes and stuff.
Right. So pre-med is a career goal of yours. And going along with that, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
So, this is tricky just because, I just got out of college, and they always ask us, what do you want to do when you grow up? And now that I'm grown up, sometimes I don't know, but I have an idea. I have looked into different programs to continue my education. So that's like, that includes going to grad school or med school, or one that kind of combines the two in my case. I've looked at social work, schoolings for, like, post grads, which is just basically, like, after you get your bachelor's degree. I've looked at med schools. I've looked at graduate schools. I know that I want to stick in to the neuroscience-ish field, because even though I majored in psychology, it really just matters what program you pick after you get your bachelor's degree. So I definitely want to keep doing some form of research. I want to continue with science, and I want to be able to give back to my community. Like, I'm super service-based. I think service is really important. And I mean, I went to HT, so, like, y'all know how important service is. You guys do community service hours together all the time. I think you probably still have your service groups, your service days and stuff. Yeah, service day. So that's always been instilled in me. So I even did some community service at HT after I graduated. So I'd like to do that when I have more free time in the future. I'd like to give back to even our grammar school, just, like I said, the community in general.
So you see yourself very successful?
I hope so.
What accomplishments are you most proud of as of now?
So I high-key did a lot on campus, and I'm really tired. I just want a nap now, but so just a couple. I mean, I graduated, first and foremost. That in itself is really big. I'm always throwing the stat out that, like, only 10% of Latinos actually earn a bachelor's degree, and only 3% get a master's. So me just getting the bachelor's degree, bumping up those numbers is one thing, and, I hope to keep going to school so those numbers can go even higher. And oh my goodness, I've done so many different programs on campus. I was a part of a program called Las Ganas on campus, which is pretty much just Latino-based or underrepresented community-based advancement in STEM. So because I was, a person who was studying a science, they helped me get a position as a mentor. So being a mentor there, I think that's an accomplishment, being able to help someone. And then they also helped place me in my research lab job that I have. It's considered a Las Ganas fellow. So what they did was they trained me how to work in a lab, what proper lab etiquette looks like, how to write an abstract, which is just like a summary of the research you're doing, how to present the research that you're doing if you go to a conference. And then they place you in a lab and you get paid to do that. So that's how I got that job. And I think that is a pretty big accomplishment. I also started up the Italian club on UIC's campus. Unfortunately, they did have one in the past, but it died down for some reason. So a group of me and a couple of my friends who were also studying Italian, we brought back the Italian club at UIC. We had to write a constitution, do a whole thing, and it got approved. I also joined a sorority on campus, and this past year, my last year, I was the president of my sorority on campus, and that was low-key very hard, but they're still up and running, so it's good though. They're still up and running, they're doing good, we're not struggling, so I didn't mess anything up. Also with that, because I joined a sorority, I was also involved in a council, so it's one org and then a whole bunch of other orgs make up a council based on what they believe. So council-wise, I served a couple different positions. I was academic chair, and then this past semester I was fundraising chair. And then one more sorority related thing, also kind of honors society thing. I was inducted into an honors society for Greek life, and in order to be in this particular honors society, you have to be in the top 3% GPA wise of all frats and sororities nationwide. So I got inducted into that, which was really cool. I was also in the honors college. I also was just in an honor society on campus. I was also a part of LADA's Leaders. LADA's is a pretty big program that a couple people might have heard of, and it's just advancement of Latinos in college. And I got paired up with a whole bunch of other leaders on campus, and we got to network and do professional development stuff. So I think that was pretty cool too.
So what would you like to add to your accomplishments? What do you want to accomplish in life after college?
I want to live. But I definitely want to add the title doctor. I don't want to be called Miss Marina. I want to be called Dr. Marina. I've put too many student loans under my name not to have some formal title. But yes, I would love to be a doctor and just help our community. If I could just, impact one person's life in a positive way, I think that's a big enough accomplishment for me. So if someone, some other kid out there, or even another peer or a friend or whoever is just wow, Marina really helped me do this, or I could say that I'm a better person because Marina helped me with this. I think that in itself is just my ultimate goal, is just to be a positive force for someone.
Oh.
Thanks.
That's cute. So you definitely have a lot that you want to accomplish after all of this. So how is COVID-19 affecting that? How has it put your goals on hold?
So COVID has definitely put just a pause on everything. So me going to continue my education, you have to take this test called the GRE. So it's kind of like the ACTs, but after college level ACT type stuff. So you have to take the GRE or the MCAT, depending on which route I want to take to get into the program that I want. But the summer tests for those have been put on hold for now, which kind of is sad. But so I have to wait for that. I know some programs aren't requiring that you take those exams now, which is nice, but those may or may not be the ones that I want to apply to. And then I can't go to work right now, which kind of sucks, because that's always a good thing to have on your resume, is that you do research. And I love the research that I do. I actually enjoy it. Like, I look forward to being in the lab with my mice and, you know, dissecting brains and stuff. I know other people get grossed out by dissecting brains, but I think it's really fun. And they look very pleasing once they're on a slide under a microscope. It looks so nice. So
that's
I think it looks beautiful, okay?
It's gross.
But, so I can't go to work, and that's always sad, because, you know, when I go to work, there's a whole bunch of networking. Like, I meet so many different doctors and so many different researchers, and where I'm working right now, we're working on publishing a paper, so that got put on hold. So, like, now my name doesn't go on an article. We have to wait a little bit longer, so that kind of sucks. But, you know, it's not that these things aren't going to happen. It's just we have to wait a little bit. And if we're saving lives by waiting a little bit, I'm for that completely. You know, it's not the end of my world. Like, I can wait a little longer. These goals aren't going to go away. My motivation for them isn't going to go away. It's just, I got to wait, you know, got to be patient. Patience is a virtue. Miss Kenny used to say that all the time. So, patience is a virtue, and I'm trying to be patient, you know. I already accomplished what I want. I already graduated. I got my degree, so that's one step down, you know, and it's taken other people way longer, so waiting...
So it's keeping you patient.
Yeah, so waiting a couple months isn't going to kill me. It's just things are on hold right now.
Right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.